What? What that is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry.
It's like shake.
I got a pretty good.
I don't know.
I'm pretty good. I am. Anyway, hey, how are you?
Oh, right in the middle.
Nice to see you. Welcome back to a Man Up Monday. This is the highly questionable one. That is the redoubtable one.
Ooh, flipped it.
We flipped the script on you.
Nice. I like going second.
Well, we have to because segment 1, you're not going to believe this, America. We are covering the WNBA draft. Oh, we're progressive. Right?
I like to call it the W.
The W. The W. And I got to say, when you look at especially the first 7 in particular, holy shit.
Very interesting tonight.
Holy shit. It was very interesting. The only regret, and it was funny because Becky and I were watching this, and I texted him, I said, I wish Boston had a team.
I was telling them you were saying
I
that.
wish Boston had a team. This is so frustrating because having watched all these players, that top 10, all of them are good.
Well, you know Connecticut has a team?
Yeah, the Sun. But Boston doesn't. This is my problem.
That's weird.
Here's my problem with my people.
Could you move them to Boston?
Here's my problem with my people. Okay? There are some things they are very pathetic about. And this is one of them. It's pathetic. And by the way, it's the men that fuel this. Okay, let's be honest. Most of the men I know most of the men that I know that are like this, by the way, are afraid of their wives.
So
you know who you are.
You think there's men that don't want the WNBA?
They want it to fail. They want it to fail. They are 1960s to 50s to the core.
Women don't belong in sports?
Women don't belong anywhere but in the kitchen, the bedroom.
You really think that's driving that?
I know for a fact it's driving.
That sucks.
I know for a fact that they're driving it like that. Okay. Oh, they're boring because they can't dunk. Have you watched Jaylen Brown shoot free throws lately? That's boring.
But see,
that's fucking boring.
I'll be honest. So there was a time.
If you're behind the basket, you better duck.
There was a time when I felt like that, but I never wanted it to fail.
I never wanted it to fail.
I feel like I used to be kind of ignorant, and I would always look at it and say, it's not that entertaining. They're not athletic.
Yeah, they're not.
But this past season, I haven't thought like that in a while, but I still wasn't into it.
Yeah.
But this past season of women's college basketball, because I was interested in the players, I finally appreciated the game. And the game is just as good as men's basketball.
See, for me, it started with Pat Summitt, because we went down it was the first time I ever coached girls. It was 1999. This is when it changed for me. And I had girls that I was friends with that played high school basketball, and I would go to some of the games, and I'd cheer them. I was never against them. But girls would always ask me,
I don't understand why you would be.
But girls would always ask me this question, well, how does this compare to, honestly, it doesn't. But it doesn't mean I'm here to support them. They're my friends. Mm-hmm. But does it compare? No, we're 3 steps faster. Mm-hmm. It's not even, and by the way, if you doubt that, we'll sit in these stands. You sit in these stands tomorrow night and watch me play, if you haven't already. In most of the cases, they knew already. I'm like, you watch the first thing I do, you'll see nothing like that on this court tonight, or anybody that on the court with me. It's so fast. It's bigger. It's faster. It's everything. It doesn't mean now if you love basketball, the game itself, then that. And again, for me, this is where it changed when I started coaching them and seeing how fundamentally. This is just high school girls too. How fundamentally good they were. I was like, shit, they're better than I thought they were. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated that because my game was always predicated on fundamentals. Mm-hmm. So I had a deeper appreciation for it. Okay,
but you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
Yeah, but I got to see it. I was coaching it. Did you ever coach it?
No.
It's different when you're watching it in a gym.
But I'm saying you said it wasn't as good because they weren't as athletic.
No, and even though it's still not as good, but what
But what I'm saying is the Final Four this year
was exciting.
The women's was better to watch than the men's.
Because it was exciting.
That's my point.
Yeah, but that's because they had the storylines.
Right.
The thing about the men's side was it was UConn's to lose and everybody knew it.
I understand, but I think I used to always look at WNBA and think it's not as fast, it's not as high-flying as the NBA, so I can't get into it. Mm-hmm. What I'm realizing now, that's not why I'm into the NBA. Mm-hmm. I'm not into the NBA because of the dunks. No. That stuff's great. No. I'm into the NBA because I love my team. To your point, there's storylines, there's villains, there's rivalries. When your team is good, you get behind them and you cheer for them. Because when the Knicks stunk for 20 years, I wasn't that into the NBA. I got into LeBron,
and this is the thing about
players,
and this is the thing about when you blasted Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith said there was a time he couldn't watch this team for a long time because they stunk like you did. So he did the same thing because they were so horrifying to watch. He couldn't watch them. And
he's a Nationals Knicks fan. Let's
I think he's just like you because he forgot a guy's name.
Dude,
by the way, that guy.
He's shown his true colors.
That guy. By the way, that guy that had the alley-oop for the dunk, that white guy that I showed you, I didn't know him.
He never plays.
But he's on the roster.
He never plays.
But he's on the roster.
He never plays.
He's on the roster.
Okay, if you know Porzingis' name, then
when
we have an
your team
issue.
is a contender, you know everybody on that fucking roster.
Nobody knows that guy.
No, that's not true.
That's not what I was getting on Stephen A for.
No.
I got on Stephen A because he said some guy named Hartenstein,
who's not a household
4
name.
months ago. If you're a Knicks fan, he's a starting center. He was there last year. He was the number 2.
He didn't. So this was his first year as a starter. So he came off the bench last year.
So yeah, but he played equal minutes to Mitchell Robinson.
Okay,
it wasn't like a.
So he beat him out for the position this.
Well, Mitchell got hurt early in the year, so he was starting for a lot of the year.
So before he got hurt, Mitchell was slated to still be the starter.
Yep. But Hartenstein shares the same minutes as him. And you knew Hartenstein.
Listen,
last year you knew him.
I'll tell you why I knew Hartenstein.
And then Grimes was our starting 2 guard.
You and I focus on 2 sports fan bases here. Of course we're going to know them because we lock in on those. He's a national. He's watching everybody. He has to watch everybody.
I understand that.
You and I focus on this and this. That's it.
Okay. He also said Grimes looked good out there when Grimes got traded a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah, that means he's not a real fan, of course.
Why are you defending him? I don't get it.
Because when you said to me your own words where you couldn't tell me on that roster for over a decade, but you're a Knicks fan.
They don't stink.
But he did the same thing you did.
Right.
So he's clearly been a Knicks fan for a very long time. When they stuck it back
but now they're good. They're relevant.
They're very good.
And he doesn't know them.
He doesn't know one guy got traded, now he doesn't know them. Stop it.
That's twice. 2 different guys.
One guy.
2 different guys.
Guy?
Hartenstein.
He couldn't pronounce his name.
No. He said, now I got to watch some dude named Hartenstein. Like he didn't know who he was.
Actually, when you look at it, it looks like Hartenstein. It looks like Hartenstein.
I'm not mad at him for mispronouncing the name.
Yeah.
I'm mad at him for saying some dude named Hartenstein when he was a major contributor last year in the season and during the playoffs. And then this year, you don't call him some guy named Hartenstein.
Some guy.
He's part of the damn team. He's part of the identity.
Some guy. He is now.
He's been that way since the beginning of last year.
Where would you rate him?
What do you mean?
What 1 through 10? What's the? We got Brunson. We got what when he's healthy. What's his nuts? And then you got OG3. Where do you rate him in terms of the top 10 players? Where'd you rank him?
Well, he's either 5 or 6.
He's either 5 or 6.
I mean, I think that's pretty high up on the depth chart if you like a team. If your team stinks and you stop watching them, I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Because to know all 5 players and the 6th man, if you're not watching any games, that's a stretch. This drink sucks, and I want to pour it out.
By the way, we're at 8 minutes in. This is IDD for those who know I don't disagree.
I just don't know why you have to defend a Knicks fan. Let me. This is my.
I'm defending Stephen A.
This is my territory.
I'm defending Stephen A.
Don't defend a Knicks fan.
I'm defending Stephen A.
I wouldn't defend a Boston fan that didn't need defending.
I don't care.
Stephen A. is a big guy. He's fine.
No, he's not.
He's not even hearing this.
He's toothpick.
I meant metaphorically.
I hope so, because literally he's a toothpick. Anyway, but the thing about the women, back to the women, we're talking about the women here. Let's get off the Knicks for a minute and the men and Stephen A. and all that.
How did we get there?
I don't know. That's part of the. So you tell me this stuff's not working, huh? We don't know how we got there. This stuff's kind of soft. Wait, how do we get there?
I'm also old.
No, I'm old. Anyway, look. It was great tonight. They had that at that theater in Brooklyn. It was awesome. The place was packed. The guy, the insurance guy, State Farm, Jake was there. Caitlin Clark gives him that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome.
Yo, I watched the whole first 2 rounds with my wife and 2 daughters.
Yep, I watched the whole thing with Becky. Well, Becky had to go. Becky watched the whole first round, then she went to take a shower. But I watched the whole thing. And
that's groundbreaking.
And it is groundbreaking.
It's legitimately groundbreaking.
I'm saying, and this is the thing. This is the whole Bird Magic thing all over again. They came out of college. They saved the NBA. Well, because of the rivalry in college. Look at what these girls are doing. And yes, it's going to turn over. And by the way, while we're on the subject of this draft, we already have a bone to pick. I do, and I think he does now too. And he's the one who brought it to my attention because I didn't put two and two together. But look.
Well, because I came over and he goes, dude, did you see the Mystics got Aaliyah Edwards from UConn? I said, yeah. But did you see who the Sky got? The Chicago Sky.
See, I didn't know their second. I knew Chicago. I knew the
Chicago Sky had
I know the name was the
picks.
Sky.
They had number 2,
and
number 8. They moved up to 7. Mm-hmm. They did like a pick swap with, I think it was Minnesota.
Well, Utah. Oh no, hold on. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, the links are right there.
Yeah, they did a pick swap, moved up to 7, and they got some serious beef down low now. Who'd they get, RJ?
Angel the bitch Reese. And
I think it's the bad bitch. She's a bad bitch.
She's good for the game. The game needs a villain. There she is. Chicago too. Perfect. Anyway, the bottom line is this: how on earth did everyone on that panel not stop everything?
Well,
when these are the last two.
You just said Angel Reese.
These are the first girl, Camila Cardoza.
Who's better than Angel Reese?
Who's better than Angel Reese? Who's 6'7"? Who is the reason Iowa had no shot because she was playing catch off the backboard against 5 of Iowa.
Dude, did you know that she moved to the U.S. when she was 14 or 15? Didn't speak English. Came here to, start a career, make money for her family.
Yeah.
And now she's going number 2 in the W. That's somebody with heart.
I'd say mission
and
accomplished.
Toughness.
Yeah.
And work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of person you want to draft.
But the thing is,
that's the kind of people you want to hire.
The 2 best players of the last 2 national champions are now on the same team in one draft. You know how often that's happened? Either way, man or female? And they didn't look, and I loved every girl on that panel, they're great, but they dropped the ball on this one. They should have stopped everything and went, well, I think we have to reevaluate the Chicago Sky's title hopes in the future because 6'7" and 6'3" with the 2 girls we're talking about.
I wonder who the guards are on that team.
I don't know, but if they got anybody,
they got to be licking their chops.
If they got anybody that can dribble without looking at the ball, they're going to be a problem for everybody. Because how do you match up with that kind of size and that kind of physicality, and they got game on top of it?
Yo, the weird part is, remember, the last time
they won this draft.
Well, remember,
they won this draft.
But remember, that was the matchup. Caitlin Reese was pulling her.
Yeah, now they're teammates.
Now they're teammates.
I hope Cardozo goes in the locker room, meets them. Let's just get this over with now. Let's establish it right now. Just beats the shit out of us.
She just slaps her.
By the way, there's a highlight of her blocking Reese and smiling on her face.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. But here's the thing: after thinking about her story, coming here from Brazil, learning how to speak English, and when you think back and you look at the way she looked at Angel Reese when she was doing those things, it was just kind of like, you think that's gonna fucking
like,
get
bitch,
to
please.
Me? You think you're going to get in my head with that bullshit?
Yeah.
And that was a look she gave her. Every time when she blocked her, when she pulled her hair, it was just kind of like, that's weak.
Yeah.
And just kept doing and just went about her business.
This is why I don't like Angel Reese, because I think she's a front runner. I think she's a fraud. She's not a real bully. She's a fake bully.
We'll see.
She's a fake bully.
We'll see.
You were the one who brought to my attention that she was the one
with the fight.
Absent from the brawl she insinuated.
The fight. That was weak.
Yeah, that was weak sauce.
But, I mean...
No,
she's also good.
I didn't say she wasn't good. I'm saying she's not the bull. She's not tough. She's fake tough. She's fake tough.
You could be right.
Wasn't there.
That's true.
There. So anyway, but I think it's safe to say the Chicago Sky won this draft, hands down.
I don't know though, dude.
They won this draft.
The Fever got Caitlin Clark.
No way. Caitlin Clark is better than both of them. She lost to both of them in consecutive years. Okay, she's not better than both of them. I'm telling you right now, she's a better shooter than them.
She lost to their teams. Their teams were better.
And they were the best players on those teams. They were, both of them. So when it happened, I don't think this year Angel Reese was the best player on her team in the tournament. It was that guard.
Cardoso,
the guard for LSU, that girl was better than her in the tournament.
Raven?
Yeah, not Raven. No. The guard for LSU who was. They finally put her on Caitlin Clark, but it was too late.
Oh,
what's her name? She was the scorer. The guard, like she was a slasher. She was
LSU.
Yeah, she was leading the team in scoring in the tournament.
Floja?
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
She was better. Last year, Reese was the best player on the team in the tournament. She was.
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
She was?
Yeah, she was. This year, it was that girl. So, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is they got 2 first-team All-Americans that were the best player on the last 2 national champions in one draft, and they're 6'7" and 6'3". I mean, shit. Like right there, they're going to be a problem. right there, they're going to be a problem. So I think Caitlin Clark's certainly going to make the Fever better, and Aaliyah Boston's going to be so happy. So
they also drafted a big guard from Ohio State. The Fever did.
Defensive guard.
Scorer.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought raving about her defense.
Her name was their second round pick.
Yeah.
Celeste Taylor.
Yeah, they were raving about her defense. So she was a star.
Oh, you're right. The best perimeter defender in the draft.
Yeah.
Pressuring the ball, above average quickness, and long arms.
Mm-hmm.
It actually says she needs to work on her outside shooting.
Well, she'll have no better coach than Caitlin Clark. I think that's safe to say.
But that's kind of cool because you go scorer, stopper as your 1-2. You already got a big in Aaliyah Boston.
You do.
That's building.
Oh, no, they're going to be good. I'm just saying Chicago took a big leap. That's a big leap of 2 players. They could both start. They could both start this year. They really could. So
she was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year at Duke in 2023. This player. So she went from Duke to Ohio State, and then won the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year at Ohio State.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations to the women tonight. It was awesome. They put on. It was great to see all the fans. It was great to see all the I'm telling you, this thing is going. It's going. And this season's going to be, I'll tell you right now, this season is going to be easily the most watched WNBA season ever. Ever, by far. The ratings are going to go through the roof. And I'm looking forward to it. Again, my one regret, Boston needs to get with the times. You know, the old guard needs to die and get and put a girls team in there, because honestly, they'd have a following up there in 2 seconds. They really would. They really would. So if you don't believe me, look it up.
Especially with these stars coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Boston needs to get on board here. But anyway, doesn't bother me. I have the Mystics here with the girl from Connecticut and the Fever. That'll be 2 teams I can look at and root for. So until Boston wakes up and comes into the 21st century. But anyway, switching gears.
Why don't we stop it and start it?
We should stop and start because I take a piss. Segment 2 coming up. We are going to talk NBA playoffs. The play-ins are here. We're going to look at all these games.
Exciting.
This is going to be some good shit. And the thing is, when you look at these teams, you're going to realize most of these teams should not be in this play-in. So we'll be right back.
On both sides. It's nuts.
These games are going to be like nothing ever before.
Being at the top of your conference was not a reward this time.
Not really.
No.
No.
You're going to have some bona fide motherfuckers in there.
If you're lucky, you're going to get LeBron and Anthony Davis.
If you're lucky, you get one Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky, you get 2.
Yeah.
You could also get a Hall of Famer and some, young sensation.
I'm just telling you, this is going to be fun. We're going to break this down. Segment 2. Be right back.